Hi guys, welcome back to daily market analysis. Today is 14th of January and let's get started. So today Nifty closed again 60 points down. Yesterday also it closed at 60 points down from what was the previous close. But when we are able to understand this, that like there seems to be a hammer appearing at the bottom of the channel, the bottom of the downtrend channel, and unless it breaks this 25,000 500, maybe will not, this consolidation stuff happening until unless it does not closes below this, then only we can actually give a verdict that maybe the markets are kind of bearish. But when you're actually trying to understand that yesterday FIIs and pros made some sort of bearish position, in that way they must be the ones who made money. So till till the expiry, 20th is the day of expiry, right? They want to spend some time, even if someone would have seen this particular pattern and would have gone long for Nifty, they must be losing money by now. Why? Because in options buying, I'm talking about that, in the next 2 days the markets moved actually by 120 points from the closing of what it actually it did on 12th of January. So even a riskier trader, that's why we call it that, even if someone is a riskier trader, he can take an entry as soon as the next candle opens. So he must have taken entry somewhere around here in order to go for a bullish side of Nifty. But it's like, where this would not be very much fruitful, because the closing must be the higher than the previous sort of candle, this candle. Then only you can take a trade for the long side. Yeah, so without actually further discussing what actually happened, first let's look at the 5-minute chart of Nifty, right? What sort of support and resistance did work today in the market? So this is 9/15th candle, right? So this seems to be a good support. 25,669 seems to be a good support when you are actually trying to look at the markets. So like, how did I draw this support? When I went to the 6 months time frame, I've drawn all the open, high, low, close of all the previous candles except the current candle, right? I've drawn the open, high, low, close. So there will be a this a high price of the January, 6 month candle landing in June of 2025. That the highest price of this was 25,669, exactly, right? And if you actually look at the 5-minute time frame, so this seems to be at the support for the intraday levels. Again, you could play out all of this, but again, with some sort of risk to reward that matches your particular system, right? So on a chart, again, until unless this we can give some sort of verdict that this is consolidating, waiting for some sort of news to turn out. Even though inflation has turned out to be very much less, anticipation of the rate cuts are much more higher, and with all of this information, still the market's not reacting, because it is eating some sort of theta decay, and that earlier, the ones who would have taken risk earlier. But until unless it does not break this, from an option seller's perspective, I would have given some sort of bullish position overview, right? So let's talk about Bank Nifty. What's happening into Bank Nifty is, again, today this was a totally flat closing. Yesterday Bank Nifty closed at like 128 points higher, again because of the inflation rate data, right? Unless it does not go below this, again, there's no bearish sign seems to be visible. What is the intraday level? Again, this seems to be the level that actually played out for intraday. This was the resistance, this was some sort of support forming. Again it went down, again it trapped people, again it went up. So it was fully consolidating. You could not have made any sort of money doing any sort of options today, right? Let's try to look at from the point of view. So again, the chart shows, both of the chart shows. So I'll just update in the sheet that I've made, and I have not updated from a very long time. Market analysis, this sheet. So on 26th December, I actually updated this, and it's been a much longer time than But again, if you are able to look at it, the levels that I was writing at that time as well was around the same sort of. Today is 14th of January, so Bank Nifty is at its resistance. Okay, that's why it's having hard time to break this resistance. Bank Nifty is facing resistance of 59,600. So it's like and we can write this hammer at the bottom of downward trend is supporting the overall structure. Let's look at option chain. What's actually happening into option chain? When you are just get there. 20th of January, if you are able to see that 26,000 is a major resistance, and the support that you can pretty much see is 25,600 is acting as a good support. After that, 25,500 is acting as a good support. So again, you look at it from the angle of this as well, 25,500 looks like a support. So again, 25,500 and 25,000, it's this 600 acting as a support. And what is the major resistance for Nifty when you are actually taking the OI into account? 26,000 is acting as a 26,000 acting as major resistance. PCR yesterday was at 0.7, today also it's neutral. So PCR 0.7 neutral. So what is you can understand all of these terms. There is put to call ratio, the number of contracts on the put side divided by the number of contracts on the call side. A higher number suggests that there is some there are more there's no more put writing, and like there are a lot of people who are putting their position on the bullish side of the market, right? A number more than 0.7, like 0.8, 0.9, 1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, like this is bullish scenario. Less than 0.7 is a bearish scenario, right? Let's try to look at it from the FIDI data. I think today's data is updated. It's 14th of January. Here we look at if the data is updated. Again, FI, what they did, they made some sort of they did short calls, and they shorted puts as well. But shorting calls is basically they're bearish, they're making bearish position, and they're shorting put, that means they're making bullish position. But net if you see, they made more bearish positions than the bullish positions. So FI bearish, and Pro bought some call options, 40,000 call options, and they bought he and Pro bought put options again. But now if you look at this data, net what actually happened today is it Pro is on to a bullish side of what will actually happen on the market. And if you look at the data of client, as of today, they shorted some sort of call options bearish, and they shorted put options, but net they shorted call options. The net they were bearish on market. So FI client again bearish on markets as of today. FI and client bearish on market as but the overall verdict seems to be the same. Overall, FII and Pro are bearish. I'll just extend this particular. Line is bullish. Let's try to look at the futures data as well, right? So again, they are increasing their futures position. You have to keep this, this thing in mind, that the moment they are going to cut the futures position, the moment the markets are going to go rally. There's some sort of support at some sort of levels as well. It's not a verdict, but the data, I've previously seen this data, so I'm just doing data analysis, nothing purely educational, just trying to teach you, right? If I made more futures sell position, we have to look what happens probably next week, because today the market, tomorrow the market will be closed. There's a Saturday and Sunday. There won't be markets. For 3 days interval, there won't be any sort of videos. Maybe I'll make, maybe we can talk about geopolitics, but not stock markets, because they'll be closed. Well, let's look at the stock data as well. What actually is happening on the cash market side? FII sold 5,000 crores of stock today. This is a big number after long time. FII sold 5k worth of stocks. Yeah. Let's try to understand what's been happening in the other markets. US markets have fallen off the cliff. There's some sort of support that I formed, and this was resistance before. I was thinking that the markets might rally up, but today they're down by 1%. Interesting. Dollar index flat. Gold kind of all-time high. Silver is crazy. I don't know what sort of what is happening into the whole. What's happening into the whole situation? I don't understand that why the metals are rallying. Okay, there's some sort of cut, supply shock from China, that they won't be exporting it. Some sort of news coming out that Samsung, made some battery that'll be requiring a 1 kg or 2 kg of silver. Per battery, they'll be able to charge the battery in 8-9 minutes, and the battery might run actually for 600-900 kilometers. Your EV will, you'll be able to drive the EV for so much, for the mileage will be so next level. So maybe because of all of this, combination of all of this, we have now we are just trying to understand that the psychological level of 3 lakh is going to actually very much achieve in very short period of time, right? USD INR almost negligible. Nasdaq, again, this was breaking resistance, and now this sort of trend line seems to be holding again. This is bearish, guys. This is actually bearish. So we are able to connect the dots, right? When the US markets are kind of bearish, even though our markets don't rise when the US markets goes up, but they will definitely lose some sort of value when these guys, when these guys are going down. Will definitely go down, because your FI is still having lakhs of crores of stocks portfolio. When we are talking about Indian portfolio of theirs, TLT has gone up. EDV has gone up. So these are ETFs of bonds, of US bonds. You get you get in a ETF format where you can earn interest, and these are backed by bonds. So how we have Nifty Bs, right? Bank Nifty, silver Bs, gold Bs. So every Bs is these are ETFs backed by some sort of instruments. Nifty Bs is backed by Nifty. So this Vanguard and TLT. These are the by far the largest. By virtue of market cap, they are in the bond markets. They are the largest players. So this is their ETF. So if their ETF price goes up, you'll be able to understand the bonds. The bonds have become expensive, and that's why the price of them has gone up. Nothing of what this is not correlated with the kind of interest they'll be making. So US 10-year bond slightly 0.3% up. Small cap index has actually gone up. Okay, interesting. The bond yields are down by 1%. Oil must be okay. Oil is actually slowly, actually matching some sort of level. So we'll just look at what is happening into crude oil. Crude oil is also going up from actually it touched a 5,000 level. That's actually very much shocking for me because when I used to track crude oil, it used to be around 6,000, and I believed in that so much that okay, it's not going to break 6,000. What I'm talking about, I'll just give you a glimpse of it. There's a 6,000, 5,600 range. This is the range that I actually started seeing the markets from this time, and now it's pretty much shocking for me as well that what sort of news, what all news are coming out that they are going to capture oil of Venezuela. US is going to capture the oil of Venezuela, and maybe, but that will not create any sort of supply shock because to the world, because even they have put in so much restrictions on the Venezuelan exports that the country does not make a lot of money and it does not supply a lot of oil. But again, this story, how it is turning the crude oil story, that actually I have to research on. So the forex, I have to get in some much detail. There's something that actually I missed. I was having some sort of bearish scenario that maybe Bitcoin will go down. It formed a consolidation. Now it's actually going up. This was the kind of golden time for the crypto guys to actually invest in, but there is no golden time. Then again, the support resistance are on a much higher time frames. The stocks have gone up, right? Yeah, but yeah. So this is the overall market daily market analysis. I think we have to wait and watch until the levels holds. Still on the hopes that there's no dark day that India will see, Indian markets will see. Let's actually unturn the story and see what actually happens on Monday. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys. I'll see you on, I think, 17th. No, 17th is okay. Okay, tomorrow is okay. I'll see you on 16th, Friday. Friday the markets are actually active. Yeah. Bye. Tomorrow's holiday, so markets won't be active. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the on 16th of January. Bye.